This story begins on the grounds of Sioux City's 4th Academy. Today is the day when students become players of the inner world. Students of the 4th Academy are standing on top of a magic formation. From the stage, Principal Jinlong congratulates the students and says, "Today the system will tell you your class once you enter this formation. Whether you become a strong swordsman, tenacious knight, agile assassin, or a powerful mage, fate will be the one to decide. You should believe that all of you will become outstanding individuals of your own classes." After motivating them, the principal shouts, "Activate the transfer formation." On the principal's command, that magic formation gets activated, and all the students standing on top of that formation start to teleport. Among all those side characters, there is our protagonist, Leon. It has been 18 years since he reincarnated into this world, and finally, the day has come he was waiting for. This world is called Kaiji Star, a parallel world that is extremely similar to Earth. But unlike Earth, the artificially developed inner world suddenly descended, causing the human world to be overturned. Various difficult dungeons emerged around the world. Upon reaching 18 years of age, humans will get abilities through the transfer formation and use them to clear the dungeons. By killing monsters, they can level up and gain attribute points to increase their strength. Leon was teleported into a black space generated by the system. The system welcomes player Leon on his first time entering the inner world. The system asks Leon if he would like to roll for his class. This is all very exciting for Leon, but he acts calm and says, "System, roll for my class." Leon acts calm, but inside he is begging all of his ancestors to let him get a good class. After getting permission from Leon, the system starts the rolling progress. Suddenly, Leon gets covered by dark green flames. The flames don't burn him. Instead, they turn into skeletons and fly above his head. The system congratulates Leon on getting a hidden class. He awakens the hidden Necromancer class. "This is too amazing." Leon shouts, "Holy shit! This is so awesome!" The reason why Leon is so happy is that a Necromancer is an extremely rare class that only 1 or 2 people in the entire world can get. With a wave of a staff, countless top-notch undead creatures can be summoned from the gates of hell. As long as they have enough mana, they can become a one-man army. Leon knows that, in general, getting a hidden class means one will be more powerful than other people. Leon opens his status window to check his attribute page first. The status window shows that Leon's class is Necromancer, and his realm is Apprentice. His strength is 10, defense is 6, agility is 9, spirit is 0, mana is 10 out of 10, health is 10 out of 10, and his experience is 0 out of 10. Everything was normal, but the most noticeable thing in his status window is his spirit, which is 0. Leon is too shocked to see that his spirit is 0. Where can one find a Necromancer who has 0 spirit? Leon is in great shock because the beginning attribute points are distributed randomly, like one's class, and the highest point one can get is 10. Spirit is the most important attribute for a mage. If it's below 5, then how the hell is Leon supposed to fight? The system doesn't understand human emotions and couldn't see how someone is feeling. At the time when Leon was in the biggest crisis of his life, the system asks him if he wishes to roll for his talent now. Leon, while crying, says, "Do it. Nothing matters anymore. I'm doomed. Even if I get an S-grade talent, it's useless if my spirit is 0. For viewers' general information, talents are divided into 7 grades, from F to S. Now the rolling for talent starts. Suddenly, Leon gets covered in some kinds of energy. The system congratulates him on getting the talent, Brave Heart of a Mage. His talent's grade is unknown, but it grants 10 attribute points. Leon checks the details. The system tells him about Brave Heart of a Mage. In passive effect, attribute points will be awarded after the player kills an enemy with physical attacks. In active effect, the player can increase other attribute values to the same value as a certain attribute value. There is a limitation for only one, and the attribute can be bound before using the active effect. Leon was too shocked and checked that he didn't read this wrong because getting free attribute points is an almost impossible thing to do. One can only get attribute points when they level up. Other than that, if someone wants to increase their attributes, they can only train hard. Leon says, "With this passive, as long as I kill the enemy with physical attacks, I can get attribute points. And even though I can only use the active effect once, it can still raise my other attributes to the same level as my highest attribute. If Leon uses this now, he can become an all-rounder with 10 points in all attributes. A newbie with 10 in all attributes. He will become a monster that will be recorded in history. He thought, if I wait till my strength attribute reaches 1,000 or even million and use this skill then, a necromancer with million points in each attribute, I'll truly become a terrifying one-man army. Leon thought and laughed because his passive requires him to attack physically. So isn't strength the most important? He raised his hand in excitement and told the system to put all the 10 attribute points into strength. The system allocated the 10 points into his strength. Now his strength stat is 20, and other stats are the same. Next up is to register and finish the beginner task. Only after clearing the beginner task would it be considered a successful obtaining of the class. The system starts transporting Leon to the beginner task, and he disappears inside the pool of blue lights. After teleporting from the system-generated space, Leon arrives at a bridge made of rocks. He was teleported in front of a dark blue portal that leads to a beginner's dungeon. Also, on the bridge, there was a guide, to be exact, a hot elf with all the qualities of a waifu. The elf introduced herself as Elaine and asked Leon if he needed any help. Leon could not take his eyes off Elaine. He thought, is she really just an NPC? He was too disappointed. Leon told her that he is here to register and accept his beginner task. Elaine said, no problem. I will be happy to help. She summons a box and gives it to Leon as a beginner's gift. Leon receives equipment, an old robe, and a beginner's staff. He also gets an F-grade skill book for summoning skeletons. Leon wears the robe and said, this is basically just an accessory. The summoning skill is useless to him since he has 0 spirit. But Leon loves the beginner's staff because it looks very strong. He said, with 20 points of strength, this staff is going to be very useful for hitting things. The elf was confused hearing what Leon was talking about. Leon turns around in confidence and asks Elaine, what's my beginner task? Elaine points at the beginner dungeon and said, your task is to escape from the misty cave. Elaine continued explaining that for this task, Leon has to be very careful. He must not kill any skeleton soldiers and find the quickest way to escape. But Leon didn't hear her till the end and jumped into the dungeon in excitement. Leon entered the dungeon through the beginner portal and saw a big green cave full of skeleton heads in front. This dungeon looks very scary because there was no end to this. He turns around and thought, was the NPC saying something? He said, whatever, it's not like the beginner task will be that difficult. But he was wondering why there are skulls everywhere. Suddenly, a skeleton attacks Leon from behind with a sword. Leon felt someone's presence and immediately turned around to see who it is. He saw that it's a level 1 skeleton soldier. This is a normal monster with 20 health. Leon grabbed his staff, raised it high, and smashed that skeleton soldier. The skeleton soldier lost 20 health in that attack and died. Its head rolled on the ground and perished in green flames. Leon checks if it's dead. He said, not being able to use magic is really tough. When he killed that skeleton soldier, a system message comes that player Leon has defeated a skeleton soldier with physical attacks. 1 attribute point and 3 experience points are awarded. Because it is Leon's first time killing a monster in one shot, an A-grade passive skill Miracle of Might was awarded to Leon. He was really happy to get an A-grade skill. He checks the Miracle of Might skill's effect. The system says that each point of the player's strength attribute can be converted into 2 points of attack power. Leon knows that strength determines one's damage output, and defense determines how much damage is reduced. So, 1 point in strength equals 1 point in attack power. The same goes for the other attributes. Which means if the opponent has 0 defense, Leon will deal 42 damage in 1 hit. He said, this skill is equivalent to being able to use 1 point of strength as 2 points. He jumped in happiness because it's simply too overpowered. While Leon was checking his new skill, many skeleton soldiers came out from the ground to attack him. When Leon saw the skeleton soldiers, he decided to focus on finishing his task first. They are the same as the previous skeleton soldiers. They immediately attack Leon with their swords. Leon uses his staff to deal 20 damage and kills them. When he killed 4 skeleton soldiers, he was awarded 4 attribute points and 12 experience points. Leon also leveled up and became a level 2 Necromancer. For leveling up for the first time, he was rewarded with 5 attribute points. Leon said, adding the 4 attribute points I got from killing the skeleton soldiers. My strength has now increased to 30 points. For a normal beginner, they're considered a genius if they have 10 points in one attribute. Leon thought, are the skeleton soldiers in this misty cave for us to farm levels? Then wouldn't that be too easy? But suddenly, something big comes out from the ground. It's a level 3 skeleton captain. This is also a normal monster, but with 50 health and 15 strength points. When Leon saw that the skeleton captain has 15 strength, he thought, I will be in trouble if I get hit by this monster. But it only has 1 agility. I'll win if I make a move first. Leon tightly grabbed his staff and jumped to attack the skeleton captain, but the skeleton captain used his shield to defend himself. Then he swung his long spear at Leon, but Leon moved fast and quickly dodged that attack. He was surprised that the skeleton captain attacked while defending, and it easily smashed the ground. When the skeleton captain pulled out his spear from the ground, at that moment, Leon saw an opening. He moved fast and chose the skeleton's weak point, the stomach, to attack. He sliced the skeleton captain in half, and when the skeleton captain fell on the ground and was unable to defend, Leon jumped at it to finish it off. Leon shouted, "Try blocking this, you bastard!" He hit that skeleton so hard that the skeleton captain lost all his 50 health and died. When Leon killed the skeleton captain with physical attacks, he got 3 attribute points and 10 experience points. Now that was a tough opponent for Leon. He thought, if the beginner task is already this difficult, how did the others complete this? While he was thinking, suddenly a football-shaped shiny yellow thing appeared in front of Leon. He picked it up because it is a monster core, and Leon remembered the principle saying that there's a chance of a core dropping after defeating a monster. Random rewards can be received when you open this. Leon wondered what he'll get and opened it. He got Skeleton Fist Set, D-grade disposable item. When it is in use, the next hit will have a 100% chance of causing critical damage. Leon said, "It's good, but would have been great if it was a permanent item." Again, the skeletons didn't give time for Leon to rest and emerged from the ground to attack. Leon was surprised that there are more skeleton soldiers, and their numbers have increased. Skeleton soldiers surrounded Leon and attacked from all directions. Leon knew that even if he is level 2 now, his health is still a pitiful 20 points, so he has to be careful not to get hit accidentally. Leon moved fast, and again killed the skeleton soldiers in 1 hit. He leveled up again after getting 30 experience points from killing those skeleton soldiers. His current experience points are 20 out of 30, and he was awarded 10 attribute points. It's a good thing that these skeletons only have 1 point in agility, so they cannot move fast, and Leon could kill them easily and level up. Now Leon's strength, mana, health, and experience points are in 2 digits. While Leon is struggling and killing the skeleton soldier, on the outside, all the students have escaped the dungeon and completed their beginner task and come out of the dungeon. Everyone was boasting about the class they awakened. A guy said, "Everyone is basically out, so why hasn't the principal announced anything yet? Is there still someone inside?" Others laughed, saying, "How's that possible? How long can you even take on such a simple task?" A guy said, "Although the skeleton soldiers inside are strong, they run very slowly and cannot catch up with us at all. If someone can still fail and die inside, I'm gonna laugh my teeth out." While they all were laughing on the matter, Yang Shi, Leon's best friend, was too worried that why isn't Leon out yet. He said, "There's no way something would happen to Leon, right?" Inside the dungeon, Leon killed all the skeletons and was wondering why there isn't a notification for task completion. Suddenly, a loud sound echoed. "How dare you kill my children!" Leon got alert, hearing that scary voice. Skeleton heads that were lying on the ground started to float in the air. Suddenly, they all flew in front of Leon and started combining together. Before Leon could react to that, a green flame emerged from the ground and covered those skulls. Within a minute, those skulls turned into a giant 3-headed flame monster. This is the level 10 Skeleton King. It's a normal level boss monster with 400 health, 45 strength, and 60 defense points. This monster has bone pierce and bone explosion skills. Leon was too shocked to see that monster. He said, "Are you kidding me? Why is there a boss in the beginner task? Do they want all the beginners to die?" The Skeleton King raised his giant wand to attack, and its target is Leon, who is just a level 3 Necromancer. Skeleton King's attack was strong, but it wasn't fast enough for Leon to dodge. When Leon saw the damage caused by the Skeleton King's sword, he thought, "Lucky I dodged that. If that had hit, I'd probably have died. Although this monster is strong, it's not very nimble, which is Leon's only advantage now. The monster's defense is as high as 60, and Leon is doubtful if his power will be able to break through it. He moved forward and, using his staff, hit the Skeleton King on the stomach, causing the Skeleton King to lose 32 health. His attack worked, and although it only did 32 damage, as long as Leon can successfully attack the Skeleton King about 10 more times, then this Skeleton King is done for. Leon moved fast and hit the Skeleton King multiple times with accuracy. All of Leon's attacks dealt 32 damage to the Skeleton King. Due to many continuous attacks from Leon, the Skeleton King lost his balance and fell to the ground. When Leon saw that his attacks were working and the Skeleton King was losing his HP easily, he became confident. He thought, "Is this monster really just here to scare people? There's still 200 HP left. This should all end soon." But the Skeleton King was not going down so easily. It did something that Leon did not imagine. The green flame on the Skeleton King's head grew darker and bigger. The Skeleton King shouted, "I've guarded the Cave of Mist for so many years, but I've never seen a player that killed their way to it. I wouldn't be vulnerable now if fewer of my skeleton soldiers had died. And yet, a newbie can somehow break through the defense of someone as great as me. This brat cannot be allowed to leave alive." The Skeleton King, which was losing just a second ago, has now stood on his feet more angrily. Leon fell back as he saw that the monster had gotten stronger. But despite Leon falling back, the Skeleton King covered the distance between him and Leon within seconds. Leon realized that not only did the Skeleton King get stronger, but it also got faster. The Skeleton King attacked Leon with his giant sword, completely destroying the ground. However, Leon somehow managed to dodge this attack. After seeing the situation, it didn't look like a direct breakthrough would be possible now. So Leon changed his strategy and decided to restrict the Skeleton King's movement first. Leon started to go deep into the dungeon, and the Skeleton King followed him. When they entered a narrow cave, Leon noticed the boulder behind the Skeleton King that looked like it was going to fall soon. Leon made a plan, and when the Skeleton King attacked him again, Leon ran towards that boulder. He stopped in front of the boulder and started to provoke the Skeleton King, saying, "Come at me, you big blockhead." The Skeleton King, who was very angry at Leon from the start, got even angrier when Leon made fun of him. The Skeleton King used his bone wings to attack him. Leon moved fast, but was unable to fully dodge the range of the attack and got hit by the shockwave. He flew away, hit a wall, and lost 26 HP. Leon was in pain, realizing how weak he is. The Skeleton King just brushed him, and Leon's HP is already this low. Now he only has 4 HP remaining. The Skeleton King rushed to attack Leon again. He wasn't going to let his chance to kill Leon go away. Leon, who has not even recovered from the last attack, was still lying on the ground. When the next attack came this fast, it was surprising for him. Leon forced his body to move and somehow succeeded in dodging the attack, making the Skeleton King miss him and hit the boulder. And just as Leon expected, that big boulder started to crack and fall. The Skeleton King was not able to dodge those big falling rocks and got buried inside. It lost 70 HP, and Leon, who only has 4 HP, somehow managed to escape unscathed. The Skeleton King did not die, but it got stuck in those rocks. Now, it only has 129 HP and is unable to move. This is the ideal situation to kill it. Leon can't hold on much longer. He has to end the fight quickly before it stands back up. The only option Leon has is to kill the Skeleton King in one strike. He jumped high above the Skeleton King and summoned his skeleton boxing glove that he got from killing the skeleton captain. The skeleton boxing glove's skill is that the next hit after this is used has a guaranteed chance to score a critical hit. Leon only has one chance, so he gathers all his strength and aims at the Skeleton King's head. When the Skeleton King, who was still struggling to stand, saw Leon flying above his head, he got scared. Leon fully uses this chance and hits the Skeleton King's head with all his strength. The Skeleton King lost 132 HP and immediately died. Leon's attack was so powerful that it destroyed the ground below. The green flame on the Skeleton King's head starts to fade little by little. After killing the Skeleton King, a dungeon exit portal appears in front of Leon. A system notification comes. The beginner's quest, Escape from the Cave of Mist, has been completed. Congratulations, Leon, on officially becoming one of Otherworld's players. Another notification comes. Congratulations, Mage Leon, on killing the Cave of Mist's boss, the Skeleton King, for the first time. 30 free stat points have been awarded. The system detected that player Leon defeated the boss Skeleton King through a melee fight, so Leon was awarded 10 free stat points and 50 experience points. With that many experience points, Leon directly leveled up 3 levels and became level 5. When Leon completed the beginner's world as the first kill reward, he got the Ring of the Skeleton King. Leon was surprised to get boss equipment. The Ring of the Skeleton King is a C-rank equipment, and its effect is that after wearing it, the player's first normal attack's damage will be increased by 50%. Leon looks at the ring and says, "Not bad, although it's not as strong as the skeleton boxing glove. Its advantage is its reusability." A thought comes to his mind that if he were to sell a C-rank piece of equipment, it'd be worth at least a few $100,000. Leon laughs, saying, "I've struck gold this time." But the only thing that disturbs Leon is the message that he did the first kill. He says, "Does that mean that no one's killed that Skeleton King before now? Then how did they pass the trial?" But he decides to leave the dungeon first, and then think about it. At this moment, Leon is a level 5 disciple necromancer, with 76 strength, 6 defense, 9 agility, 0 spirit, and 200 mana. He also has an unknown level talent, the Mage's Brave Heart, and an A-rank skill, Muscle Creates Miracles. After leaving the dungeon, Leon suddenly appears in the stadium where the students who completed their tasks were. When Yang Shi saw Leon, he jumped and hugged him. Leon was surprised to see him behave like that. Yang Shi, who was happy to see Leon, said, "What happened to you? Why'd you take so long to complete a beginner's mission? I almost thought you died in there." Leon, who was surprised to see all the students there, asked Yang Shi, "How come all of them completed the beginner's mission and came out very quickly?" Yang Shi told him that it's been 3 hours since the last person came out. Leon asked him what role he drew, and Yang Shi said he drew the mage, explaining what a mage is to Leon. All this feels very strange. He thought, did we get the same world? Suddenly, a blonde-haired boy approached them and made fun, saying, "Leon, so you were the last one to come out." That blonde-haired boy is Ma Fei, the class monitor of their class. Ma Fei tried to embarrass Leon in front of everyone, saying, "Leon, you're nothing but an embroidered pillow. What use does being handsome have? In the other world, talent is king." Leon didn't reply to him and thought, why does Ma Fei love to pick fights with me? Suddenly, Principal Jinlong came to the stage and announced that since everyone's already enrolled in the other world, tomorrow the entire class would take part in the beginner's training. He said, "Students, let's all introduce ourselves, our roles, and our talent to get to know each other better." Side character students started. One happily announced that he is a soldier with D-rank talent. Another said, "I'm an assassin, also with D-rank." Another student with a sad expression said, "My talent is F-rank. I think I'm screwed." A beautiful girl, Zhao Ziyue, became a mage and healer, attracting all the male students' attention. She also fully qualified for the waifu criteria. Another girl, Zhu Yu, got the role of a paladin and awakened a B-rank talent. Despite her appearance as a lowly, her stats were that of a warrior. The next one was Ma Fei, who had the role of a swordsman and a B-rank talent, as well as high scores in all skills. An asshole like him was lucky to have the skills he had. The other students were surprised at his class and talent. After all, everyone knows that swordsman is an extremely powerful class in the other world. A guy said, "Class monitor is blessed by the heavens." Looking at the students, Principal Jinlong thought, someone with a B-rank talent can already be counted as being amongst the ranks of geniuses. Looks like this batch of students isn't bad. Finally, it was Leon's turn. Surrounded by an aura of dark green flames, he announced that he had gotten the role of a necromancer. But he didn't reveal his talent, saying, "It's not convenient for me to reveal my talent at this time." The real reason why he did not reveal the talent rank was that he himself didn't know. His talent's rank is hidden. After hearing his class, even the principal was thrilled that one of his students had awakened the Necromancer class. He told everyone that the Necromancer is a rare hidden role. The other students were even more surprised to hear that. A guy said, "There was once a Necromancer who wiped out another union on his own." Ma Fei, who was making fun of Leon, was now tense. He couldn't believe what he heard, thinking, how is this possible? But he reassured himself, thinking, What if it's a hidden role? Mages are famously fragile roles, and they're the most afraid of someone getting close to and killing them. Moreover, necromancers are even weaker than regular people because of the many years they spend in contact with the undead. In addition to that, it takes an extremely long time to cast a summoning spell, and it could be said that they have no teammates to protect them. Assassins, swordsmen, and similarly attack-focused roles are the necromancer's best friend. Ma Fei looked at Leon's back with a smug smile and thought, since he didn't state this talent's rank, I'm sure it's because his talent was too low-ranked, and he felt embarrassed saying it out loud. But the other students were not so envious, and were only surprised at how reserved and tactful Leon's class is. A guy said, Leon isn't arrogant or irritable. Is this the attitude that a genius has? He said, Leon has a hidden role, but is still so modest. I can't possibly compare to him. Another guy said, this must be the difference between a genius and us ordinary people. Even his personality is so grounded. If I were to draw a hidden role, I wouldn't be able to be as calm as Leon. Well, they all were looking at him with respect in their eyes. But Leon is a necromancer who can't cast even a single spell and is only slightly stronger than a normal person. Leon doesn't even know if he can protect himself in the beginner's training. So why would he dare to make a big fuss over this? Leon was scared, thinking, what should he do when his classmates realize he can't summon even a single undead creature? He had so many questions and so few answers. At the same time, Principal Jinlong was very impressed by Leon. He was thinking that once Leon completes the beginner's training, he will definitely be able to enter the nation's top universities. One by one, after everyone's introduced themselves, Principal Jinlong announced that today's class ends here. Everyone, go home and prepare for tomorrow's beginner's training. Leon tried to go home, but he got caught by his Yangshi. He said, Leon, you're really awesome. Why couldn't I have drawn the necromancer role instead? But in the end, he wasn't so bad himself as he had 8 spirit points. He showed his stats to Leon and said, my talent is not bad, right? Leon remembered his shameful 0 in the spirit stat. He told Yangshi that talent doesn't matter. Hard work can make up for clumsiness. Leon thought that Yangshi's stats are all single-digit numbers. Then doesn't having 76 stat points make me a god-level being? After that, Leon finally came home. And when he entered the house, he said, I'm home. But there was only silence and emptiness. This is the house his parents left behind. After his parents disappeared, he always called out, I'm home, every time he returned home. In his memories, his father and mother would do so every time they returned home. Unfortunately, now he could only remember them. And all he had left behind was one picture of them together. His parents in this world were very good and kind people. But when Leon was 6, his parents said they had to go on a trip to the capital. And then they suddenly, mysteriously disappeared. And after that, Leon became an orphan. Looking at the photo, Leon thought it had already been 12 years since they disappeared. He wondered where could they have gone. So, Leon decided that he must get into the capital's university and find out the truth behind it all. The next day, Leon, along with the rest of the students, showed up at the place where the beginners were practicing. Principal Jinlong stood in front and said, I only have one request for today's beginner's training. In a serious and gloomy voice, he said, if you think you can't do it, please remember to back down immediately. Even if you fail the training, it's better than dying during it. Hearing this, the students were really scared. But the principal calmed them down, saying, there's no need to be too nervous. The beginner's world isn't very dangerous and won't cause players to die. But everything has an exception. The principal told them that there was previously a catastrophic incident where a singular beginner's world caused a class of 40 to be completely wiped out, and they vanished without a trace. Until this day, no one knows what kind of horrifying beginner's world that was. All they know is that the world was called Nightmare Village. Hearing this, the poor students were scared and confused. All their confidence in their own abilities vanished without a trace. The principal continued to play emotional swings with them, and again said, there's no need to be so solemn either. As long as you leave the other world in time, you'll be in no danger, and they led them to get ready because once the stopwatch reaches 0, it's time to enter the other world. Immediately, the countdown began, and 10 seconds flew by like a blink of an eye. With that, the beginner's training has begun. Dark streams of energy covered all the students, and with a flash of dark lightning, Everyone moved to another world where they were to take the test. From the looks of it, the village was the most ordinary and quiet. While Leon continued to look around, Ma Fei began to smugly reassure all the students, convincing them